Hey everyone, welcome to another $1,000 strap search. I've got my 1,000 in singles here and I'm about to show you what I found. But before I do, let me talk about this week's tip. Now, I've mentioned before in a number of videos that I will tell you my bank called me. Now, some of you may wonder how it is that my bank will call me on certain fines. Well, one of the things that I did to make myself look a little bit more official is I printed up business cards. And my business card has my name, my YouTube channel, my phone number on it. And I'm not going to show that on here because I don't want to give out all that stuff. But when I go to banks and people see what I'm doing, I hand them my business card and I tell them, if you find anything interesting or see anything interesting, let me know. And so many of the tellers have put that card in their pocket and have subscribed. Thank you guys if you're watching. And they've also given me a call whenever they see something neat. So that little business card, the $15 or so that I paid to print up a bunch of business cards like that, was well worth it because it allowed me to give that information to the tellers. So that's this week's tip. Go ahead and invest the little bit of money to make yourself a business card to pass out. It makes you seem a lot more official, and you're more likely to get a phone call from a bank like I do almost every week. All right, that's my 1,000 in singles. Get them out of the way. Let's take a peek at what I found this week. Starting off with a Where's George? See where I've been. Track where I go next, www.where'sgeorge.com. Cool bill, love Where's George bills. These are always fun to look up, always fun to see where they've been. Found a birthday note. This one is backwards, 2005. That would be November 21st, 2005. Did find some trinaries, 1s, 2s, and 8s on this one. Nice crisp note. This one has quad zeros. You'd hope that those would be in the front, but quads nonetheless. I saved the quads and I saved the trinaries, hoping to be able to find two notes with the same serial number. Here's another trinary, and it's quads. Quad 2s. That's how it starts, and it's 2s, 6s, and 7s as far as the trinary goes. One away from a really cool note. 22226667. It would be so cool if that was a binary. All 2s there, all 6s in the end. One off, and anyway, thanks Kyle, extension 4053. I suppose that was a really important message to put on this bill. Next up, another quad 7s right in the middle there. Good condition on that bill. Did find some stars. That's a 2017 star note, another 2017 star note, heavy crease down the middle. That's probably not going to be a keeper unless it's a rare. Another star from 2017. 2013 star note. That one's a little brutal. Another 2013 there. Another one. Did find quite a few stars this time. Another 2013 and another 2013. This one's got a little bit of a overprint there. That one's rough. That one looks like it was laying on the ground for quite some time. Another 2013, and then I only found one old note. This particular one's from 1995. So that was the oldest note in the group, the only note older than 1999, my 1995 that I found here. So that's what I found this week on my $1,000 search. Sometimes I find a bunch of good stuff, sometimes not so much, but take the good with the bad, can't complain. So what did I pull out this week? Well, this week I went with another old note. This note is from 1864. This is a $10 1864 Confederate States of America $10 bill. Now, if you look real close, you can see right there, it says February 17th, 1864. $10 note from the Confederate States of America. I found these notes extremely interesting. That's the front there. We'll take a quick peek at the back. Almost looks like Monopoly money or some kind of board game money. It just doesn't look like that's supposed to be official money, but that's what it is. This is an actual bill. Now, some of the things on this bill you're going to notice. First thing you may notice is this border right here. And if I take a real close look at that border, you can see they completely missed, and that's the next bill. Look at this side here. This one is also trimmed wrong. Now, the reason why these are cut so poorly, even if you look at the top part is cut almost into it, and by the time you get to the bottom, you do get a little bit of the white border there. These notes were cut by hand. They weren't cut by a machine. So when you've got hand cut bills, that's why they aren't cut very accurately. Some of the other things about this bill, check out the serial number. I believe that's a 70212. That's a handwritten number, handwritten serial numbers on these. And the signatures, those are actually signatures. Those are hand signed bills. Hand signed bills on these. And if you look real close, you can tell because the ink has rusted just a touch. So you get this brownish look, which when it comes to finding counterfeit notes, there are a ton of counterfeit notes as far as Confederate money goes. The Union would be printing counterfeit Confederate notes. That's tough to say 5 times fast. The Union would print counterfeit Confederate notes to try to jeopardize their money chain. And one of the ways, I mean, there's a lot of counterfeits out there. One of the things you look for, though, of course, is the signatures, and you make sure that the ink is rusted, I guess is the best way. It's not going to be black, it's going to be brown. You want to make sure that it is hand signed. Same thing with the ink on these numbers here. The paper itself this is rice paper, if I remember correctly. It's very thin. It feels like newsprint. It doesn't have any fibers in it. That's just the way that it was when they made these initially. One of the other interesting things you're going to find on here, take a look at the picture real quick. They're pulling, that's a cannon right there that's being towed by these guys. These guys are pulling a cannon. One of the things that I find interesting is right up here. It's got it here, and it's got it here. And it's interesting. This one here says the Confederate States. Oh, that's the second part. Let's start here. Let's read what it says. The Confederate States of America will pay $10 to the bearer, Richmond, Virginia, February 17th, 1864. So that's the attribute there. And then you look at what it says right here. I want to zoom way in so you can see this. It says 2 years after the ratification of a treaty of peace between, and then you go here, the Confederate States and the United States of America, which means that this note was essentially just a promissory note. It had no value to it, and it wouldn't be redeemed until, like it says, where is it? It's not focusing on me. There we go. Try that. 2 years after the ratification of a treaty of peace. So you had to hold on to this note that long before you were able to turn it in to get anything for it. And of course, it's not going to focus very well for me. There we go. So that is my 1864 $10 Confederate States of America Civil War note. It's a pretty interesting note, pretty interesting piece of history. I'm a fan of this particular note because the color on the note, the red, is still pretty vibrant. If you can get one in that condition, that's great. If you get one in lesser condition, this kind of gets bleached out and it's not as nice of a note. But if you can get one where the color is still good, that makes it pretty interesting. Let's take a quick peek at the book and see what the book has to say, because these are listed. There it is right there, $10 note, Confederate States of America. And you can see that in VG8, it's only worth $20. So it's not an expensive note at all. In fact, the 10 is worth $20. The $5 note, if we check that out, up here, it's worth $20. The $2 is worth $40. The $1 is $50. So yeah, that's how much. An idea of how many were printed and how many were counterfeited. So yeah, if you can find a real one, that's what you're looking at. And a pretty cool piece of history. All right, guys, if you learned anything new, go ahead and hit that like button. If you like what you see and you want to see more, please subscribe. If you comment below, I do my best to answer all the comments. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you again next week.